This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast for November the 22nd. For those of us who've been around long enough, as you point out in the poll, 60 years today. Assassination of President John F. Kennedy in Dallas.
I was just reading People. There is a new documentary out about JFK's assassination. Actually, Jimmy touched on it a couple of weeks ago while you were away. And it's still so fascinating. I wasn't here for it. Mm-hmm. But yet there's this, mystique, question. There's always been questions around it, but there's just something about it that draws you in, and it's just fascinating.
It might be the first conspiracy theory of all time, and then others came out. It was the biggest of its time. It was just, enormous. And that's part of it, is that we don't know everything. We think we know everything. Nobody believes what they were told, or lots of people believe everything they were told, or it's just fascinating. And it was, it's tied, it's a pop culture moment for baby boomers who are children. Where were you when?
Yeah, absolutely it was.
And it didn't take long for people to draw a straight line from that day, November 22nd, 1963, to 2.5 months later, which was February 9th of 1964, when the Beatles appeared on Ed Sullivan, and that's what brought them out of their mourning. Like they said, that was another reason why the Beatles' appearance was huge, because for 2.5 months, they lived with this mourning of John F. Kennedy, and then the Beatles showed up and exploded, and it became Beatlemania. And so timing, right?
Yeah.
It's just, nothing happens in a vacuum. There's just everything. So, yeah.
But what did happen, this article is really interesting because it's after the shooting. Mm-hmm. So everything that happened after, how quickly everything happened, what Jackie had to do, it just...
Yeah.
It blows my mind. It really does.
The photos are in black and white of her on Air Force One.
Yeah.
But you can still see the stains as she's standing to the side and Lyndon B. Johnson's being sworn in as the president.
Exactly. That's what I was just looking at.
She's standing in her stained
her
clothing
husband
with
was
the brains and blood.
Shot
next
to her. It's like when you think back what she went through.
Yeah, with such grace. Incredible poise.
And a mom. Yeah. Having her small children and having to deal with that side of it. It's just...
John F. Kennedy Jr. pulling away from her and saluting the cat. I mean, everything about it.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
To this day, 60 years later, still heartbreaking and fascinating. And I mentioned too briefly Stephen King's book. You got me on to that, reading the 11/23/63. So good.
Yeah, it was. It was a very good book.
2263, sorry.
It was massively.
It's if you haven't read it, it is well worth the read.
Charity owns it because I bought it for Christmas a couple years ago.
You're like, you need to read this.
It's so good. Yeah,
it's a big book.
Yeah,
and it's not. It's not a history book. It doesn't go back and break it all down.
There are real incidents included.
And it's an interesting read. It's very, very good.
Stephen King, very good. Very, very good. One of his best. So good. Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. We are the honorary chairs of Operation Red Nose this year. Mm-hmm. What that is, how it's going to raise money for the community, but more importantly, make sure there are no impaired drivers on the road this holiday season. Rick Watts is on the show, all brought to you by Simple Desk.
Simple Desk in Trenton is your ultimate destination to streamline, market, and strengthen your business's brand. Jenny, the visionary behind Simple Desk, took her commitment to business support a step further by creating BRAZEN, an event for women who dare. After the event's sellout in 2023, get ready for an even bigger and bolder BRAZEN 2024. The full-day experiential event is packed with networking, vendor booths, exciting giveaways, delicious food, and a speakers panel of incredible female entrepreneurs sharing their inspiring stories. Don't miss out on BRAZEN 2024. Mark your calendars for May 31st. Tickets go on sale November 1st. For all the details, visit simpledesk.ca/BRAZEN. And be sure to follow BRAZEN on Instagram at BRAZEN Events 1.
Charity and I are honorary chairs of Operation Red Nose, which is part of the program. They do that every year. I don't really know why, but the United Way does it. And all kinds of charity events always have kind of honorary chairs. and it moves itself around. And I was really, really touched when Rick Watts asked you and I to do that.
Yes,
this year. So that
incredibly
was awesome.
honored to be part of this. Of course, we're going to jump on board and do what we can, the schmucks that we are, to help with Operation Red Nose. I think we are going to try and get out this weekend for the
Good
kickoff.
try. Yeah, one weekend we'll go out on a few runs and pick people up.
See what it's all about.
Teams of 3 and some volunteers do it every year. We got the lowdown from the long-time organizer, Rick Watt. Is 55 a regular number of volunteers, the first week heading in? Is that a pretty good number?
I will say yes. I know that we've had a base of 245 at one time.
Wow.
And we've done in 1 year, of operating, 1,650 runs one year.
Wow.
That's all pre-pandemic, of course, right?
Oh yeah, that was
a lot more parties and
yeah. When you get but last year our first time back, 450 runs. I thought that was pretty good.
Great.
Yeah.
And the people they know the that we're out there driving, and they're always good to us. We've only had a couple of episodes where we said no. The person was talking bad, and my policy is if you don't feel comfortable, you don't take them because it's your safety.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And other things is you got to have patience because they might be just wanting to finish up a drink. And then, how they got to say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't speed with their cars because, we don't want any trouble.
Be respectful.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it works out good. People are all
Well,
happy.
I was saying to Mark at the launch, talking to some of the past honorary chairs, as well as volunteers who have been part of Red Nose, the camaraderie between your volunteers, not just the stories they share, but just amongst themselves, from doing it years together and driving together, it really bonds them.
Well, it does because there's people that come out every night, and they've been doing it for 12 years. They're there every night, and they know what I expect of them, so I just tell them to keep the radio in their car because don't bother taking it out and bringing it back in. And so team 1's always the same team, team 2's the same, 3, 4, and 5 are always usually the same team, and they know what I expect. And even new volunteers, I explain to them, how we do it, and they seem to get it pretty, and then they're talking to other people, so they.
But they have fun with it.
Yes, yes, they do, and they get playing cards where you're waiting, and some of them are on their tablets. It's good.
Rick Watt of Operation Red Nose. It begins this weekend. It will run Friday and Saturday nights right through to and including New Year's Eve. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and it's teams of 3 and volunteers getting you and your car home safely. No excuse. Nobody needs to drink and drive over the holiday season. And let's talk about it now from the side of people who give a call. How should they get involved before that? Get the phone number in the phone. Be prepared.
Yes, and the radio stations really push it for us. With all the radio stations around this area, I'll guarantee you, when we're operating, you will hear it on one station within an hour. Of all the ones that are around here, you will hear that number go out, whether it's 95.5, Cool 100, or any of the other ones. Somebody will mention it.
Well, we want everybody to get home safely.
Exactly. And
there's no reason why.
Yep, Loyalist College even does it.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Yep.
No reason why they need to even try it. You're there, you're available, be safe, be smart.
And even if when the ride program's out, as soon as they see the vest, they just wave you through.
It's awesome. Yeah, because you're doing a good thing.
Because they know.
Yeah.
Phone number 613-962-4334. Put it in your cell right now. It is a very important number to know before you go to your holiday parties. Starts as early and lasts as long in a night. Rick, what are kind of the hours for it?
7 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. is our last call.
Okay.
1:31, we won't pick the phone up.
Right.
Okay.
And we will take you from Belleville to Picton, to Madoc, to Tweed, Deserano, and from Trenton we'll do this, Brighton we'll do all them from Trenton also.
But the rides must start or end in Belleville or Trenton.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Get it in. Okay.
But a very
And
large area.
if you would like to be one of the volunteer drivers, then Rick, how do you get involved?
You just go to rednosequinte.com or .ca and fill out the application. And you do need a police check, and if it costs you money, you bring a receipt to us and show us, and we see the police check. We don't want it. We just have to make sure you got it, and we'll reimburse you for the price of the police check.
Okay.
And there's a tab here right on the website. So if they go to the website, they just click it and there, boom.
Super easy.
They're able to register.
Speaking of price, what's the price to have this happen, Rick?
The
To have
The ride.
Operation Red Nose come by and get you and your car home safely. How much does it cost people?
free.
Exactly.
It's free.
Yes.
Absolutely free. That's the best part.
Yeah.
It's free. And maybe at the beginning of the night you didn't think you were going to use Operation Red Nose, and then your friend showed up and it got a little bit later than you thought.
Or your ride leaves without you.
That's right. 'Cause that
And you're
never
wondering,
happens.
what am I going to do now?
Yeah, and Operation Red Nose is always a great idea. But there are people that love to tip because they know the money goes back into the
Yes.
community.
Yes, they do. And 100% is giving back to charity. 75% goes to the YMCA Strong Kids. 25 goes to Food for Learning. And Food for Learning is basically, we used to give it to Camp Trillium, but it's the same group. It's
Right. Yeah.
Sunrise, Quinte Sunrise.
So that's great. We appreciate it. I do that because Friday is going to be the kickoff Friday and Saturday and every weekend right throughout the holiday season, right up until the kickoff of 2024. Rick, how long you been with Operation Red Nose here in town?
Well, I've been doing this one for 19 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I used to drive for the other group. They had it from 95 to 2000, but I started in 96 with them as an escort driver. And they run a really good program also. And I think they had kids growing up and everything else. So, they had their families and stuff
Sure,
like that.
for sure.
They did a real good job. And I took some of their ideas. That's why we have a good
group here.
Yeah,
Yes.
19 years
Yep.
on the roads, getting people home safely over the holidays.
Yes.
Consistent
Yeah.
presence on your part. Thank you, because it's a lot of volunteering.
lot of work.
And for you, it doesn't start Friday. You've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end on New Year's Day either.
No, it doesn't. But, we've got a lot of good help. Like sponsors, we have really good sponsors. Food sponsors, they're a little slow this year getting them in. But they are really good at, we have tons of food. And other people, like some people make a chili and bring it in, or a beef stew or something like that. So, like, the volunteers are doing a great job too. Like, they're the ones that, like, if I need somebody to pick up stuff at a pizza place, they'll go right there and get it and bring it in. I had one guy in Trenton. He didn't drive on Friday nights, but he would, anything that came from Trenton, he would bring it to the hall, like food and that for us.
Nice.
And then of course, we get in the lottery going. And
That's
We
right.
heard about that. How much did you
Yes.
guys win that year?
we won $1 million, but it was
my gosh.
$20,000 a piece.
Yeah, so good.
Wow.
Yes,
So
and
good.
You could see when we were going to Toronto to get our money, as we're getting closer, the smiles started getting a little
Of
bigger.
course.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and because it took a little while, because they had to check all your
Yes.
like
Yep.
you got 100 questions you got to answer.
Yeah.
You got your IDs both sides, and then they because my brother drove for Pure later. They deliver tickets, so he had to be investigated. And if you have somebody that works at a store that sells tickets, they have to be investigated.
Well, they have to make sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You've got to do their due
we ended
diligence.
up getting $149 and change interest on our money.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Not
There you
bad.
go.
So we're getting on the lottery. Beginning on Friday night, 613-962 4334. Get that in your cell phone, your tablet, whatever you've got. Everybody
Have
in the
it
family
handy.
put it in, absolutely. And enjoy Operation Red Nose this holiday season. Charity and I are the honorary chairs. Rick Watt, as always, the heart and soul. Thank you, sir. Let's enjoy a good program and a very safe holiday season this year.
And let's get lots of rides.
Rick stopped in yesterday, yes, and we had that chat. We were able to give you your nose finally.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thanks for putting the pictures up.
Yes, your
Yeah.
red nose.
Yeah, that's very cool. I thought we got one between us. We had to keep sharing.
God, no.
No.
Thank goodness.
Hand
no,
off
not
my
the
nose.
case. Not the case. You get your own. But it was very exciting. And Rick is actually in the Hall of Fame for the Operation Red Nose organization. One of two outside of Quebec, the other being David Allen, who was inducted this year.
here in Belleville as well, by the executive director of the YMCA of Central East Ontario for their long-time support of the program. So once again, put that number in your phone right now, 613-962-4334. Or if you'd like to volunteer and get that police background check and everything, so easy to get all the details on Operation Red Nose Quinte's website. Fridays and Saturdays only. Easy to run through right through the holiday season.
Making it safe this holiday season for everybody. That's what we want. We want a happy and safe holiday. And you had mentioned too, and we should track down Chief Callahan to get some numbers about, you mentioned the ride programs. Yeah. Numbers possibly being down because of this organization.
Yeah, that's but one of them. And the only way to do that is take a look at a similar sized city that doesn't offer a service like this.
Exactly, because this isn't everywhere.
It isn't.
I was surprised to learn it's only in, I think, 2 or 3 communities in Ontario. Like, it's not widespread. It's not every community has this option.
So I don't know, for example, if the stats say to Peterborough, is that an equal or an Oshawa being on the 401, or maybe that's the largest city?
I would say Peterborough might be closest. Yeah.
So similar sized cities, Chatham of us, maybe, Cornwall. Where do we figure on the impaired driving charges? Is it lower here as a result? And I'm just always happy when I hear no accidents, no deaths. Perfect, because that's what you want. That's the whole idea behind it. So,
well, and he mentioned they did an enormous amount of rides the one year now pre-pandemic, because it's slowly growing again now that we're back out. Getting together.
Parties.
Yes, getting together with friends and family. But you can follow along on their website too. I always find that interesting. How many kilometers they've traveled, how many riders they've gotten home. That is really neat to watch through their website, rednosequinte.ca, because they keep track of it all season.
Really hits it home. So get all the details on that website. Today is probably the busiest travel day in North America, right before the American Thanksgiving. So the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles would have taken place today and tomorrow?
Yes.
Because they arrive home late on the Thanksgiving Thursday. Still the most gut-wrenching ending of any movie.
It is, yes.
And that famous line that John Candy just improvised when he said... I was going
to say that was ad-libbed.
Was it when he said, "This year I couldn't let go"?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the line.
And now I'm getting choked up because Steve Martin said he didn't know that line was coming.
No.
He's on camera. He's supposed to say this, and then he's supposed to react, and then he adds, "But this year, for whatever reason, I couldn't let go."
I couldn't let go.
And it goes to Steve Martin, and he's like,
"Oh my God."
Yeah, and he got choked up, which there's like, "Cut, we're keeping that."
Absolutely.
Nice work.
And that's the line.
Yeah. And then off it goes. So anyway, that's great.
Clear this up for me then. Is Thanksgiving tomorrow or Friday?
Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Followed by Black Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. Why it's on a Thursday, I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason why.
And that's one of the differences. Americans have their Thanksgiving on a Thursday. We have it on a Monday. And we'll touch on, I have a whole list. We'll touch on that tomorrow. The differences between our Thanksgivings, other than October and November.
Yeah. And then that used to be the silent kickoff to the holiday season in America. And then the next day became important, and that became, all right, if you were in the black on that day, that meant people wanted to buy your products and you were going to have a good holiday season. So that's how it became known as Black Friday.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
There weren't really sales. It was just like, oh, I owned a store and I had a really good, so people must want my product. I was in the black on the first day, so that's how it became Black Friday. So then they started enticing sales. And then what I used to say is, Black Friday used to be the day after the U.S. Thanksgiving. Now it seems like Thanksgiving comes the day before Black Friday.
Yeah.
Emphasis is on the wrong day.
Well, and then it continues too, right? Because we have Cyber Monday?
Yeah.
But thankfully, we also have Giving Tuesday coming up next week.
Well, we also have Independent Store Saturday.
Thank you.
Yeah,
yes, I was trying to remember what Saturday was.
Yeah, yes. Saturday was a kind of a shop, local independent store.
Exactly, because Friday tended to be the big box stores.
You'd see
people lined up at Walmart and all the big department stores on the Friday. Yeah. So yes, Saturday's the retail, the smaller businesses, support local.
Yeah.
Then Cyber Monday and
Cyber Monday, same thing. You can still buy so many local businesses.
Oh my gosh, yes, now especially. Sorry, I put my nose on. Especially after the pandemic, right? Because we all started shopping online.
We've all got our accounts at the local businesses. And so take advantage of their online sales on Monday and then Giving Tuesday. And we're going to have a number of local organizations on how you can benefit the community with your donations.
I just was reading Canadians 40% more of us over last year are expected to shop this weekend.
Shop this weekend?
This weekend.
Wow.
That's up over last weekend.
Yeah.
Now, it
big
doesn't say
numbers.
online. It says
Shop.
shopping. So that incorporates maybe online, but also out, which I think is good too, because then you're more likely to shop local.
Shop local. Great.
Yeah,
so
it
I'll
is.
have that for you tomorrow. Jimmy Hollywood is gone for the weekend. He's gone.
Just for a couple of days. Yes,
Down
he's
to
back next Monday.
San Diego. I got to go to San Diego. He just makes it sound fabulous.
I know, but then he shows pictures of the freeway, and I have no desire
Yeah.
to go whatsoever.
I don't want to be parked on Highway
No,
5 for
during this busy travel day.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
in the heat. So enjoy your day today. If you are an American listening, and we do see where you're at, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Very,
Be
very safe. A great weekend, and we'll get back at it again on Monday morning. Otherwise, for the rest of us, join us tomorrow for our Thursday. We'll be around with Throwback Thursday in honor of Operation Red Nose. We have drive songs.
Do you want me to double check here at the time
check
of recording?
Sniffing the Tears driver's seat. I went old school,
Did
and
you
I
ever?
am paying for it.
I think you're just making this group up. The song sounds vaguely familiar.
Wow, you're
but
so young.
Who calls it Sniffing the Tears?
So young.
Yeah,
Driver's
oh
seat.
no, you're up to 5 votes.
5 votes losing to the Cars Drive.
Yeah.
By how much? How many you got? You got like 25?
36.
36 to 5. Oh my gosh.
Big percentage.
It's a lot. I really nailed
You're
this one
Sniffing
in.
the Tears fans better get up and start voting.
Come on, you guys, wake up. Get on Facebook. And join us tomorrow with Mark and Charity Mornings on 95.5 Hits FM. Have a great day.